Jesus will. What's up, everybody? Come on in the house. You know we gotta listen to a little music for a few seconds. Come on. What's up, Quincy? What's up, Instagram? What's up? Come on in. Thank y'all for tuning in. Quincy, I am doing wonderful. I am tired, but you know what? It's all good. Just pray my strength. What's up, Essence? How you doing? Thank you. What's up? What's up, Instagram? What's up, Rev? Over here in Instagram land. Thank y'all. Just giving people a few more seconds to come in. Yes. Y'all know the song? All right, Tyra, we're going to talk about this thing tonight. And you know what? If y'all have any questions out there, go ahead and ask some questions. I'll spend a few more minutes afterwards answering questions if you want to talk about other stuff, okay? And if you want to inbox me some questions, you can do that as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank y'all for supporting me. I had a really, really good time this weekend at Harambe, my first live event displaying my books, promoting and sharing the topic, opening up the minds to discussing dating and preparing for marriage while you are single. That is my mission. That's what I believe that I was allowed to do by God. And so I accepted the challenge. Me and God have this humorous relationship. So I really feel like I was forced to do it, but only people that know the Lord would understand that sometimes he forces you. It ain't no more chances after a while. So as always, if you like this message, if you're on Facebook, please do throw me those likes, throw me those hearts, share the message. Of course, in Instagram land, I believe you can share the live with people in your DM if you feel like it's something worth sharing. And one more announcement. Today is February the 27th, but this Saturday, March the 2nd, I will be having my first book signing in my hometown, Columbia, South Carolina, and it's going to be at the Converse Space. So if you want more information about that, it's going to be from 1 to 3 in Columbia. If you're in town, please do join me. I have not extended the invitation to, specific friends and family because I want to do something for the public first. And of course, close friends and family, you're welcome to come. But if you're out of town, you don't have to travel. I'm just going to put that out there because I want to have something else with my family that is out of town. All right. So who want to talk about this topic tonight? Who want to hear what I got to say about this? I feel like, guys, my opinion, I feel like it's, I, of course, believe it's valuable because it's my opinion, but I do feel like it comes from a place that is authentic, that is not so, so hard on people because I am a Christian, I am a believer, but I try to be realistic as well, give you realistic answers, realistic topics, and talk about the realistic struggles out here in these single streets. So anyway, without further ado, the question is, and this was asked of me several times, so I felt like it was worth discussing here on Worth It Wednesdays. The question is, should I date a man who does not go to church. And that came from many women who obviously are believers that are wanting to do things right. And that was the question. And so I always answer questions sometimes with several other questions, for one, to get an understanding as to where your thoughts are coming from. And so my next question to that person would be, why do you want a man that goes to church? Why do you want a man that goes to church? Is it because you heard somebody else say you need a man that goes to church? Or is it because you really want someone to go with you to church, or you feel like you want to have that connection? What is it? And if there is more to something behind that, I always suggest that's what you specifically go to God about. You don't say, God, send me a man that goes to church. And I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. But you want to say specifically, God, send me someone who does not mind sharing in the worship experience with me, that will not, leave me at home. Stay at home while I'm at church. I want, my members at my church to know that I'm a married woman when I become married. I want them to see I want the other youth at the church or the other adults at the church to see what God can do. I want him to see, y'all getting all into my prayers real quick. Y'all getting in my prayers. But those are my specific prayers, because I have been that person where I thought that if he went to church, that he was just the most amazing individual. And so with that being said, I want to throw out there that church, everybody that goes to church, does not necessarily mean that you're saved. And everybody that's saved don't always go to church. And I'm going to leave it at that for that point. But I will say that in the 24-hour rule, I emphasize to pay attention to the person. Pay attention to the person in the church and the person outside of the church. It is very important that you pay attention to who that person is in church and outside of church. Because guess what? The person that you're going to marry is going to be that person that is not in church. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So pay attention to the person that you are with. That is why the 24-hour rule was developed. That is why I came up with that rule, because the 24-hour rule basically emphasizes face-to-face time that you all spend together. I'm not talking about texting. I'm not talking about FaceTime, and I'm talking about the physical time that you two see each other's face and spend time together. That is what the 24-hour rule. And if you want to know more about what I'm talking about, you're going to have to read the book. That is all I'm going to say right now, because it's too early to say anything more than that. But that is my advice as it pertains to that. You must spend time with that person. If they do go to church, spend time with them in church and outside of church. And you keep your eyes wide open, because you want to be able to discern, and you want to be able to make a sound decision as to whether or not this is something that you want to go forward with, or as to whether or not this person has marriage potential, or they will fit into your life. Okay. So if, another thing I'll say about that is, if that person cannot make time for you, then they can't be with you. Point blank, period. If they cannot make time for you, they can't have you. I got to add the claps, because time is what is important. If someone says that they love you, they are showing love through sacrifice. And the number one thing that sacrifice, the way that people can show sacrifice today is by sacrificing their time, because time is something that cannot be replaced. And if you give me your time, then that says a whole lot about how much that person enjoys spending time with you, or how much time they are willing to invest in you. So therefore, again, if that person can't give you time, they can't have you. Keep that in mind, men and women. Keep that in mind. So if you want to fact check me, there are some instances where they're in 1 Corinthians. The Apostle Paul talks about instances where an unbeliever and a believer marry. Where an unbeliever and a believer marry. And so there are some things that he breaks down and he explains as to how to handle that. But it does happen because life happens. So things are not over if you just happen to fall in love with the heart of the individual that does not go to church. But what's more important is, do they believe? Does that person at least believe in the same God that you believe in? My personal opinion is I would want somebody who at least believes in Jesus Christ, because that is what I believe. But as you may have heard earlier, my other prayers follow that I don't want just a man that go to church. I want a man that's actively involved with me, going to events, all of that, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z. So those are the things that are important to me. And that's how you should look at it, or it would be great to look at it in that sense. Okay. So don't always look at whether or not he go to church. Again, I keep saying the same thing over again because it is very important. You look at that person on the inside. Look at the heart of the individual, because a lot of us too are really who we are. And I'll speak for myself. I'm a person that was raised in the church. So therefore, that is something that was instilled in me. And I've never had a bad experience in church. So people believe and they don't believe for various reasons. But if you feel like you're with a person that you really feel like has a good heart, then you can get to know that person a little bit more, dig a little deeper. But I would not make my decision solely on the fact that they attend church. I would make my decision solely on that fact. Now, going back to something else. Say the person, does not believe. My belief is, I feel like an effective way that someone could possibly become a believer. Let me add a disclaimer. No, I am not God, and no, I cannot change anybody. However, what I can do is let my little light shine. Let my little light shine, honey. And I'm pretty light, so my light is always shining. However, it shines with my attitude, with the way that I carry myself, with the way that I speak to that person, the way I treat that person, the way I treat myself, the way I treat others. That is how my little light shines. The song says, shine your light so that men may see that Christ is way deep down inside of me. So if I'm very concerned about an individual, say maybe if I married an unbeliever, one of the effective ways may be to allow that person to see the way God has changed you, because nobody not gonna believe that they should go to church if they still see you coming home, turning up, cussing out the kids, cussing out the husband, cussing out your mama. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And everybody knows somebody. Don't act like you don't. Everybody knows somebody that goes to church and is very active in church. But at home, honey, they are a monster. They will cuss you out. They will fight you. So just imagine being married to that person, and that person comes to you saying, oh, you need to get up and go to church. Then of course that non-believer gonna be like, well, what I need to go to church for? I don't see it doing nothing for you. But I promise you, people that like to invite folks to their church at the job. I know y'all got some people at your job want to invite you to their church. But I promise you, if you go around smiling and laughing and being joyful, and they get to see that God is blessing you on top of blessing you, and you saying, oh my goodness, you know, miracles are happening in my family, miracles are happening all over, you know, all the stuff, people looking at, they're watching you. And if they see the power of the Lord working in you, then they're gonna be like, well, hold, what church you go to again? Where your church at? Hold on, because you know what? Because I need to see what's going on up in there. Because that you come up in here, you know, too happy. And one man, he actually said, I heard this on the radio years ago. He said that his wife was a very, very active person in church. And he started going because he saw the change in his wife. And he decided to go because she was just feeling too happy and too joyful. And she went from fussing every Sunday to, okay, baby, see you later. And she was just too happy to get out the door. And he said, well, Lord, all these blessings starting to come in. So he thought the pastor was, you know, doing some stuff with his wife. He thought that something was happening. He said, why she getting these raises and getting all this extra money in her account and all that stuff? But turned out, no, it was just the changes that was coming over her, and it was the changes and the blessings that was happening. And then when he went to the church, that's when he changed forever. So whatever it takes, guys, whatever it takes, that's what you do. Let your light shine. But back to the topic, for those who may be just tuning in, number one, don't judge a person by just the simple fact that they go to church. Trust me. Trust me. With the T-U-R, I can't even spell it, but I need y'all to trust me. You better look and see what's going on the inside. You better spend some time with that man. Men, you better spend some time with that woman to see what's going on. Face-to-face time. All right. So I'm not going to ramble on much longer as it pertains to that. And if you're watching the replay, please hashtag replay. And if you have any questions, I'm going to scroll up, look at the comments, and see what type of questions we have. And then I will move on. Let me check my notes to make sure I didn't leave nothing off. I believe I covered everything. Yes, I covered everything. So I'm going to scroll up and see what's going on Instagram first. Someone asked how I'm doing. Yes, I'm doing very, very well. I look forward to attending my first book signing this Saturday from 1 to 3, if I didn't say it earlier. It is at the Converse Space. Oh, you saw me okay, but you didn't say nothing. You saw me at Harambe. You didn't say nothing to me. Oh, someone said on Instagram, you have to remember that you can't get mad later on that they don't go to church. And if you met the person they didn't go to church, don't feel like you can change it, because you can't necessarily change that person. So you can't get mad if the person started off didn't go to church, and you've always been active, and they all of a sudden, or not all of a sudden, but they don't go to church. So that's something to keep in mind. What's going on while you're dating, please understand, this is the advice I received as a single woman. What happens while you dating will get 20 times worse when you become married, or it will stop altogether. So I try to keep it positive, but that's just some of the things I've heard as far as, when it comes to, the things that a person does while you're dating and so on and so forth. But you want to make sure that whatever they do, it comes from the heart. All right, so let me see what type of questions we have or comments. Yes, Damien said the devils attend church as well. That has nothing to do with his own relationship with God. Thank you. That's the thing I didn't say. Yeah, you definitely want that person to have the relationship. So yeah, that's the thing. That is what's most important. Even if they go to church or not, like for real. Because some people go to church and they ain't open the Bible. None. They don't even know what's going on. They just know all of the cliches and the famous scriptures, the 23rd Psalm, and and they act like they super duper saved. So yeah, you definitely want to know that this person has a relationship with God. That's the question you should ask. That's the most important thing. Not do they go to church? Do they have a relationship with God? What's the next question or the next comment? I'm married, but I feel we put too much emphasis on church. What does that actually mean? When it comes to relationships, there are so many single women out here, in my opinion, waiting on something that looks like Jesus or acts in that way. Is this really right? Is it really right to do this? Oh, goodness, no. No, you definitely don't want to look for Jesus, because I'm not Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I understand, because I've turned that mirror and I've looked at what's going on in me, and I've taken ownership for a lot of the failures of my own past relationships. I can truly say that, yeah, a person is going to have to love me for me. I'm not, like everybody else. I may be that person that might be a little different outside of church, but I'm not, abusive in that sense. But there might be some days where I'm just like, listen, don't come to me quoting no scriptures, depending on what I'm going through. Some of us, we'd be like, all right, no, don't send nobody to pray for me. I can pray for myself, just different stuff, they might not like that comeback, So it might be, some things in me, and I'm not Jesus. I'm not trying to be Jesus. I'm just here to basically open eyes and ears to a new way, a non-traditional way of dating, which Jesus speaks about very frequently in his word. Non-traditional. We can't be caught up in that. Yes. So the next comment says, you have to be sure to represent Christ wherever you are, because like you said, people are watching. Yes, Victoria. Yes, that is true. And even for myself, when I felt like I was led to write this book, I felt like I was the last person that needed to write this book, because of the fact of what you just said. People are watching me. I don't want to be watched. And that was the battle. I mean, I'm telling you, that was the battle. Like, I don't want to be known. I don't want to be famous, so to speak, as far as, people recognizing me when I go places. I didn't want all of that, because I know that with being recognized comes some criticism. But at this point, I really don't care now, because I've been criticized all my life. So I'm good with it. But yes, people are watching. We put too much emphasis on church. It's definitely a heart issue. Amen, Hassana. Amen. What matters, guys? What matters? As I get ready to close, somebody play me some music over here on the organ. As I get ready to close, it is what matters in the heart. How you want to be treated, how much you have healed from the past hurt, or how much you have noticed that is a pattern in your bloodline, how much of that you want to overcome, how much you want to allow God to form you into the individual that he is calling you to be. It doesn't have to always be a position where you're standing on a pulpit, but if you can minister in several different ways. In your job, you can minister just by saying hello, giving somebody a kind word, being patient. Those are ways you are letting your little light shine. And those are ways that you are conditioning your heart to receive someone else. And so you definitely want to look at what is going on in your own heart so that you can receive someone else, because that someone else is not going to be perfect. They are not going to be perfect by any means, as you are not perfect. All right, guys. That is all that I have for you tonight. Once again, I am Deidre Campbell, author of The 24-Hour Rule, Woman's Worth Strategist, speaker, panelist. If you have a radio station, I'll come on your radio. If you have some young children that need some talking to, if you have women that need talking to, or just a listening ear, I am here, guys. I am humble. I'm a big old clown for those that do not know me, but I just love to life and I love to have fun. And so, guys, I thank you, and I hope to see some of you at the Converse Space this Saturday, March the 2nd, from 1 to 3. And let me know if you're coming too, because I'm going to have a little bit of snacks, and I want to make sure I have enough snacks. And if only 2 people RSVP, I promise you, there's only going to be enough for the 2 people plus me and a couple other people I'm bringing, I promise. So if you come, don't come hungry if you didn't RSVP. Don't come starving. So either way, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Goodness, it's a long video, but I will see you all next Wednesday. Thank y'all. See ya. Bye. Okay, I'll see you. Sweet Zeta. Bye, Facebook.